Okay, so there are a few other things here that I can show you. As an example, let's say we click on any one of these titles, okay? If we look over here on the right-hand side, there's lots of things that we can do with these articles. We can print them off, we can email them to ourselves, we can save them to whichever network spaces or thumb drives or whatever we prefer to work with. One of the most common kinds of questions I receive is, can you help me to cite something APA style? Okay. If you click on this Cite button here on the right-hand side of the screen, it will show you all of the possibilities for citing the record that you're looking at. And this would be an example, I think this is a shocker to some folks, when you can actually copy and paste, right? So you can just grab that citation and paste it into the references section of your paper. However, I would caution you that what goes into the database is what comes out, okay? So the good people who are behind the data entry at this database do not always concern themselves with how accurate their bibliographic citations are, okay? So you do have to have a copy of the APA manual, and you do have to have a solid familiarity with how to cite various sources, because sometimes when you grab this citation and paste it into your paper, there are errors. I see this all of the time. Sometimes it's something very subtle, like, oh, maybe these words should not have been capitalized. But there are some other really odd, glaring types of things. So I'm looking at this one in particular, and I see that the author's name is all in capital letters. It shouldn't be that way. Sometimes you'll see odd things like contact information for the authors and that sort of thing. So be familiar with your APA style of citing sources. And if you have any questions, by all means, contact me. I just noticed something else here. There's the international serial number is included in the citation. That should not be there either. Okay? So there's something else that I think that would be really helpful for you. Are folks in this room familiar with bibliographic management software programs like EndNote, Zotero, maybe? Yes? Do you use?
I use Zotero.
You do? Good. Does it work for you?
Absolutely.
Great. Okay, great. Have you used EndNote yet?
No, but I like Zotero because you can just click on top of the page and save it automatically, and then just get it from there. I can just select all items you wanna.
Yes.
And it will just.
That's great.
It's help.
And one of the benefits of Zotero is it's an open access program, so you can take it with you wherever you like.
Right.
Right? One of the other things that you can do with databases like this is you can export all of the records that you find when you're conducting your research into a bibliographic management program like Zotero or like EndNote, okay? And what these sources do essentially is they act as databases or storehouses for your research information, okay? So imagine creating your own database of all of the materials that you accumulate along the way. And there's lots of different ways of organizing it. You can save materials based on classes, based on academic years, based on specific assignments, okay? And my experience is, I always tell people that I'm not just their librarian for their academic careers, but also when they move on, I want them to stay in touch with me and to let me know when they need assistance. In essence, you're a lifetime librarian, right? And so I hear from folks who have moved on commonly, right? People who have moved on to become school superintendents and so forth, because they still need to do research. And one of the things that I encounter is that people really regret not holding on to all of the information they gathered when they were going through getting their master's degrees and their PhDs and so on. So what I'm saying is that it might be a good idea to familiarize yourselves with sources like Zotero or EndNote, because you can download those programs onto your machine, link them up to our subscription databases like this, and automatically just export whatever it is you're looking at right into your database, and it's always going to be there for you. All right? You can transport that database to yourself wherever you are. You can make it cloud-based, you can make it PC or Mac-based, whatever works best for you. Now, you're looking at someone who still, when he's involved in research projects, has these huge, unwieldy folders with all kinds of, post-it notes up on top. That's just the way that I still work. However,
studies say that's the best way to work.
Really? Okay, so the instincts are still good.
The instincts are still
All right,
good.
okay, but you can do it electronically as well, and that's what these programs are that I'm referring to. And just to show you, I'm going to go back to the library's homepage. I mentioned that the Zotero program is open access. So essentially, if you're using Firefox as your browser, you can easily just run a quick search for Zotero. It will show up. Voila. I can say that because I was just in Montreal, right? And there it is for you. Okay? Now, EndNote is a little bit different. EndNote is a little bit more robust, and it's a program that we pay to have access to, but that you can download for free while you're affiliated with the university. And the way to do that is, on the library's homepage, there's this Get Help button, and select EndNote software. Here it is, version for Windows, version for Mac. They both operate pretty much the same. Okay? But going back to the database.
Once you download it, even if you graduate, you can continue to use it now.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'll say something about that. The license that we pay for our friends at EndNote, provide you with technical support while you're here, okay? So that technical support from the vendor goes away after you leave here, but I don't go away, all right? So if you need technical support with EndNote, once you finish here, I'm one email message away, okay? So just to show you how this works, I don't have EndNote loaded on this machine, so I can't go through the entire process with you, but what I can show you is, if I go back to my result list here, let's say that I like a lot of these records that I'm looking at, all right? So for each one that I like, I'm going to click on that little folder icon next to each one. You like that one, you like that one. Okay, I've clicked on this folder icon. What does that mean? Well, if I go up to the top of the page, here is my folder, okay? And this is a folder for your current search session, okay? So if you get up to make yourself a sandwich and come back and this thing has timed out on you, you've lost your work. There's a way around that, but we're running out of time here. So be safe, okay? when you're saving things to your folder, remember to save them while you're still in an active search session, okay? What I'm going to do here is, I've already done it, I've gone into my folder. I'm going to select all of the items that I have, and I can either save them all together as a batch to wherever, thumb drive, my network drive. I can email them all to myself. If I do that with a lot of different records, they may come to my email account in a batch so that there's no one email message that's too large that gets bounced. Or I can export to Zotero or EndNote or whatever my preferred bibliographic management program is, okay? And if you're working from a database that is subscribed to by the UB libraries, it will default to one of those programs, Zotero or EndNote. And if you click on this Save button,
Is that for the whole article or just the citation?
its default is to grab the full text of the article. All right, and you click on that Save button, and it shows up in your own personal database. And I just was issued a thank you. So I will say thank you, Professor Kim, and all of you for following me along with this.
Thank you, Barry.